This is the first episode of season 2 after a brief hiatus of, I don't know, 2.5 years, something
Well,
like
here,
that.
let me raise a glass to cheer you. The
Nice.
return. Look at that. I got
Look at that.
my Ruby IPA cup.
I like it. Somehow that's about 2.3 cents in my pocket, I
There you
think.
go. There you
The
go.
fact that you get,
Anything I
mind
can
you,
do to help.
that's Canadian though. So once you, it really loses some luster once you convert it. Did you ever watch SCTV?
Yes. Oh yeah.
You know when they used to do the Sammy Maudlin show when they
Hmm.
would just get together and compliment each other?
Yes.
So I don't want this to turn to that, but
No.
I
God
will tell you
forbid.
this without any facetiousness, without any kind of smoke blowing, with zero smoke blowing, I have on a number of occasions said to people over the years, I think Tom Bergeron is the best host on TV.
Oh.
I feel like you were born to do this. Let's roll the clock back a little bit and tell the BUTTPOD listeners how it is you fell into this line of work. Were you always drawn to this type of thing?
Yeah, I really was. And before I get to me, let's send a compliment back your way. I said this
Oh, the
to you.
Maudlin show.
I said this to you in an email or a text, but finding corner gas made those early months of the pandemic so much more palatable for my wife and I. We absolutely binged all 6 seasons, then the movie, then the animated. So thank you for that. Uh,
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm glad you found it.
Well, to answer your question, I started in radio when I was in high school. There was a teacher of English and public speaking in my high school in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And when I found out that he was a part-time newsman at the local radio station, I developed a Machiavellian strategy to ingratiate myself with him and somehow worm my way into the radio station, and it worked. And that's
So he'd come out after school. You'd be washing his
yeah,
car. Oh,
that's
hello.
right.
I did.
Yeah, yeah. How's that sheen, Mr. Johnson? Looking good. Yeah.
That's fascinating to me that you attended a school that had sort of that class. What a great
Yeah.
class because so much in life involves public speaking, even if it's just a job interview.
Hmm.
That skill of communicating should be taught, I think.
Yeah, and you often hear the canard that public speaking for many people it frightens them more than the fear of their own death. And
Yeah.
having died on stage on several occasions, I can tell you it's somewhat comparable.
Yeah, it is. The at a certain point, bombing, I find, if it goes bad enough, it sort of flips a switch and it becomes in and of itself
Yes,
entertaining.
yeah, you're
There's
right.
that middle ground. If you're only kind of doing badly on stage, that's a misery.
Yeah.
But if it goes bad enough,
Well,
it becomes a whole new fresh
absolutely. Back
form of
in
funny.
2008, it was the first year that reality hosts were nominated for Emmys. And the Emmys were going to be on ABC, which was the network that I was on. And so they said, "Oh, we've got this great idea. We'll have the reality hosts host the Emmys." I went, because it's like herding cats. We all have different styles. I mean, they're all friends, and it was a disaster. It was just, but I was writing a book at the time. And as I stood on the stage on live television, realizing how much this thing had just gone right into the crapper, I thought, I have an ending for the book. Because it was kind of about meditation and being in the moment. And honest to gosh, like you're saying, sometimes as something's bombing, you can find it's sort of like the optimist who digs in the pile of manure, believing there's a pony in there somewhere. It's like that.
Gotta
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
I've never heard that expression. I'm going to use that expression now. There's a pony in this manure
Somewhere.
somewhere.
Keep digging. Keep digging.
In the midst of bombing, though, if you're very present, that might be the time you
Yeah.
want to drift off. What if I was riding? What if I was on a
It's funny,
spaceship
and to that
somewhere?
point, after the Open, which really set the stage and tone for the rest of the evening, it didn't go well. So all of us were backstage in our little director's chairs, and I started meditating backstage. And I opened my eyes, and Ryan Seacrest was staring at me. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm meditating. We got to go back out there." So, yeah. It was that kind of night.
I like that sentence. I've never heard anybody say that sentence before. I opened my eyes and Ryan
Yeah, that's
Seacrest
right.
was staring at me. You're one of the few people on earth who could tell a story that
Yeah.
would just be a normal sentence.